Today on Monkey Life. In Vietnam, black-shanked Douc monkey Peter is fitted with a new GPS collar before being released into the wild with his group.
Black-shanked Doucs that we've rescued in terrible, awful conditions that are now back out in the forest where they belong.
In Dorset, Gibbons, Kim and Tien are on the move to a temporary home while theirs is updated.
They're a young couple, so hopefully they'll adapt quite well, and it won't be too long before they move back.
And juicy melons for the spider monkeys. And Pumpkin can't get enough. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet.
Hi, I'm Alison.
The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You coming up? Good girl.
The park provides a home for more than 250 primates from 24 different species. "6,000 miles away from Dorset lies Monkey World's sister sanctuary, Douc. Located in southeast Vietnam, it's an island reserve in Cat Tien National Park. It's been run by Dr. Marina Kenyon along with her partner Lee Butler for the last 17 years. With both now being based back in the UK, a dedicated Vietnamese team worked to rehabilitate and release some of the country's most endangered species back into the wild. Lee has flown out to oversee some urgent renovations and improvements on the island.
So unfortunately, as we can see, the concrete posts have failed. Now we're going to our new metal poles, which are stronger, and we can actually get the fence working much, much better. So yeah, a vital part in our rehabilitation for all the primates that we rescue and rehabilitate on Douc.
Douc measures around 65 hectares. There are 5 semi-free areas where the rescued primates learn to live in the trees again as part of the final stages of their rehabilitation. These areas are large, and there's a lot of fence line to be fixed and replaced. It's all part of the team's goal to rescue, rehabilitate, and ultimately release the primates back into the forests of Vietnam. Since the centre opened in 2008, 277 individuals have been cared for. One of the most successful primate rehabilitations has been with pygmy lorises. So far, 162 have been released into the forest.
These are wild primates. We want them in the forest, we want them free. That is the long-term goal. Get them back in the forest where they belong, not in a bird cage, not in a cage, back in the forest.
One individual rescued 3 years ago is Peter, a black-shanked Douc brought to Douc by the Vietnamese authorities, having been kept as an illegal pet for 4 years. Last year, he was released into one of the semi-free areas. But he's managed to find his way to another part of the island to join up with Doucs Anna, Phu and Quy.
So since we released Peter on the southern tip of the island in our main semi-free one enclosure, he's been quite incredible. He's moved through the forest, through to headquarters, then to the northern tip of the island, and then he moved back to our semi-free 4 enclosure where we had Anna, Vu and Quy. He actually got into the enclosure, and that's where he's been ever since. And it's been good. All 4 of them have been tremendous. They've all got on. And he's a beautiful, beautiful adult male Douc. And his leadership with the socialization of the group will be tremendous for them.
Peter has matured into a big, strong, dominant male who now leads the small group. It's an important role because all 4 are about to take another big step in their lives. The team on Douc are going to release them into the wild area of the island, where they can move through the tree canopy at will. There's already another large wild Douc family on the island who are thriving, so the hope is this four will do the same.
They're at that age now and the stage in their life where they need to be free. They need to be in the canopy. They need to be where they belong. And we're hoping that they all stay together within their group and then disperse. So it's going to be quite emotional the day we do that.
The team have been able to track Peter's movements on the island via his GPS collar, but it'll need to be replaced to enable them to continue following the four Douc's progress. GPS collars are a useful tool for the team. Earlier in the year, golden-cheeked gibbons Kizzy, her partner Dong, and their 3 youngsters were released by Marina and the team into an area of the Langur, which, along with Cat Tien National Park, is in a protected area called the Don Nai Biosphere Reserve. Kizzy was fitted with a collar, and the team have been tracking their whereabouts ever since. Marina can even follow them from back in the UK.
These collars are so great. They're like a bridge. We know that they need around 40 to 60 hectares in this forest type to find enough food. So using the GPS, we can map how much ground they're covering. We know that they have a brain map. This map, it's like anyone who goes shopping, you have a map of where all the food is in the supermarket or in the village, and you know where to go. The gibbons are trying to create that. They need this map. They need to know when this fig tree is fruiting, when this jackfruit tree is in, when this wild chom-chom's in. They need to have this knowledge because they have to compete with birds and macaques, so they have to have a really active knowledge and know where to go. So this GPS gives us a really good indicator of the ground they're covering and the potential map that they're building.
Marina and the team have been releasing rehabilitated gibbons back into the forests of Vietnam for 14 years, with varying degrees of success. However, she's confident Kizzy and her family are there to stay.
Kizzy and their offspring are the best yet. They're pretty untouched. They've had 10 years in a forested enclosure. The infants have never been in a cage or anything, so they're as wild as they could possibly be. And now they have their own home range.
Taiwanese vet Savvy has arrived on Douc to assist Lee and the team in replacing Peter's collar. She'll also give him a quick health check. All 4 Doucs have been brought back into a temporary cage while Peter has the procedure. It's not straightforward. First, Lee has to dart Peter. It's not easy to be accurate and get the timing right with an animal taking evasive action. But Lee has had plenty of practice. And within a few minutes, Peter is out for the count. Savvy quickly gets to work removing the old collar and fitting the new one, all within 30 minutes. The team watch over the male Douc while he recovers and comes around.
Hey, dude.
Peter will spend the rest of the day recovering in the safety of the enclosure. Next morning, with Peter fully fit, the team prepare to release the 4 Doucs back into the wild area of Douc. The release cage is perfectly situated, and as soon as the slide is opened, all 4 rush out. Heading straight up into the tree canopy. It's exactly what Lee hoped for.
Out they've gone. Anna, Vu, Kui and Peter. They've got the whole of Douc now. In time, they will come across the wild troop that we have on here, so fingers crossed that all goes okay. So time will tell now. Let's see what they do. But another massive step for all the team, from Alison, Marina and everyone who's involved on Douc. black-shanked Doucs that we've rescued in terrible, awful conditions that are now back out in the forest where they belong. What else can I say? Just truly, truly amazing.
When Lee isn't in Vietnam, his work continues back in Dorset. This morning, he's helping Jeremy and the team move golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien to a temporary home at the park's Gibbon complex. The pair's house and enclosure are in need of some TLC. The team hope to crate up the two gibbons and move them with as little stress as possible so the work can begin.
We've just got Kim and Tien in one of their outer tunnels now while we're rigging up a crate, and we're going to pop them into a crate and then move them to main house for a short spell, just while we do a bit of essential maintenance on the enclosure and also refurbish the house as well, which hasn't been done in years, so that'll be quite nice for them.
Kim and Tien have spent all their adult lives in this wonderful tree-filled enclosure. They're a devoted pair who love to spend their time grooming or singing from the treetops. The maintenance team at the park monitor the primate houses and enclosures and keep on top of any work that needs doing. Kim and Tien's home has come to the top of their list. In order that they can begin, the primate care staff make sure the gibbons are settled.
Good boy, come on.
While the team manoeuvre the large and heavy travel crate into position. They haven't had a lot of crate training, so persuading them in may not be straightforward. A little bit of gentle encouragement is needed.
Go on. Yep. Right, that's bolted down. They're in, yep.
Kim and Tien are quickly secured together safely in the crate, with very little stress.
No, not too bad. I mean, they're not the happiest little gibbons in the world, but yeah, we didn't have the prep time to crate train them, but as they go to main house, this crate's going to stay with them and we're going to work on them for the return journey, so hopefully next time it won't be so stressful for them. But no, they went a lot quicker than I thought it would, actually.
Hello. Hello, Grump. Don't worry, I'll fill you full of bananas once you're at main house.
It's not far to the main gibbon house, but moving a heavy crate with two gibbons inside is strenuous. A buggy and trailer make light work of the final part of the journey, and the gibbons have each other for comfort. The team have already prepared the entrance to the gibbons' temporary home, and the crate should marry up for ease of access.
Get it on. No, you've got to get hold of it from the bottom one like that. Yeah.
Primate care staff member Sarah is inside, ready to give Kim and Tien added reassurance.
You just lift the fig up, mate.
Jeremy opens up the crate.
All right, it's Tien through. Kim's still hanging on in there. And she's through. Slide shut.
The pair are straight into their new bedrooms to explore and are greeted with a cacophony of noise from the other gibbons at the complex.
They've only actually been around gibbons when they were brought up with their parents, Jake and Zoe and Peanut and Panyo, and siblings. So yeah, it is a big change for them, as we've got, we've got the mullers, we've got the La, we've got the Agile, and we've got more golden cheeks in a close proximity. So yeah, big culture shock for these guys. I mean, they're a young couple, so hopefully they'll adapt quite well, and hopefully it won't be too long before they move back to where they came from.
Kim and Tien will need a couple of days inside to get used to the sights and sounds of their temporary home. But they won't be there for long. As soon as the work on their house is complete, they'll be able to return to their lovely tree-filled home. Spring is in the air and there's an abundance of blossom and flowers around the park, which many of the primates love to eat. At the Stumpy enclosure, the three macaques are in for a floral treat. The primate care staff have collected a mass of colourful camellias, complete with leaves and branches. Browse is a good source of protein and fibre, although the stump-tailed macaques aren't particularly choosy and have a reputation for devouring everything.
Definitely here at the park they will attempt to eat anything they can get their hands on. They do keep us quite entertained, particularly in terms of giving them enrichment. We have to be very strict with what we give them because any cardboard material, anything like that, they will actually try and eat, so we have to be very careful. So something natural like the camellias is a great source of enrichment.
The flowers and browse are placed all around the enclosure, with some up high to encourage the three to climb. The rest is in easy reach as this trio aren't getting any younger.
Come on then, you lot! Oh, hello.
Fiona opens up and the stumpies head out, led by Toto, with the only female Sylvie close behind. Elderly Freddie brings up the rear. One sniff and he moves on unimpressed. Sylvie is the first to try one of the flowers and seems to like them. Encouraged, Toto decides to give them a go. In the wild, stumpies are primarily frugivorous, meaning they favour fruit. However, they do eat lots of other vegetation, as well as hunting insects and small mammals. They're mainly terrestrial, but also spend time in the trees foraging and sleeping. Elderly Freddie is thought to be about 33 years of age. He grabs a mouthful of flowers and, despite his mature years, uses them to put on a bit of a display. He recently underwent major dental surgery and is due another visit to the vet soon. However, he's eating well and the petals are soft. Sylvie is the only female and the youngest in this small group. She appears to be the most interested in today's enrichment. At 27, she's also the most active and agile of the three and loves her food. Recently, she's suffered from digestive issues and, despite numerous medical checks, the team have yet to discover the cause.
For the most part, despite her medical concerns, she is actually doing really well. She's active, she's eating, she's climbing around. Nothing really slows Sylvie down.
The stumpies may be known as grumpy and they can be quite destructive when it comes to food, but generally this trio get on well together. The large outdoor enclosure gives them all plenty of space for time on their own. But they often come together after eating for a grooming session. Life's still good for the park's ageing, ugly monkeys. At the Spider Monkey House, the primate care staff are busy preparing an extra special lunch for the trio, who are waiting patiently in the tunnel system. It'll be worth the wait. Today they're getting a selection of melons, some within easy reach.
Right, like that?
And others strung up around the enclosure, making them harder to get to, and encouraging the spider monkeys to use their brains and their bodies.
Spider monkeys eat a lot of fruit in the wild. Here at the park, we give them a mixture of different foods. The fruit that we get in our supermarkets is usually quite loaded with sugar, more so than the fruit they would get in the wild. So they have fruit as part of their diet, but it's only quite a small part. Every now and then, though, we like to really spoil them. So today we're having whole melons, which is going to be really exciting for them because they never normally get this amount of fruit all in one go. So what we're trying to encourage them to do is get up off the floor, do some clambering around up in the trees and up on the ropes and the hoses, and hopefully they'll use their arms, their legs and their tail to support themselves and to get hold of the best fruit.
The enclosure is ready, but before the trio are released, Rachel takes the opportunity to examine their incredible tails while they're sitting in the tunnel.
We don't often get a good look at the underside of the spider monkey's tails because they're usually using them to hold on to things. Each spider monkey has an individual, like a fingerprint, but a tail print on the underside of their tail on the fleshy pad they use to protect themselves when they're climbing on spiky trees. And so, yeah, when we get the opportunity, it's nice to inspect that part of their tail too, make sure there's nothing wrong with it, they haven't got any scrapes or scratches on it, and yeah, They're good guys.
And good to go. Time to let them out.
Go, go, go!
They're all in an excited rush. 26-year-old Pumpkin leads the way, heading straight for the melon at the end of the tunnel.
Gone for the easy one.
She moves on when Hickory and Flint arrive. Melon number 1 is a watermelon, but Pumpkin has found a juicy sweet honeydew just right for eating and begins to gorge on the fruit. She's the most food-orientated of the three, and the melon's tough skin proves no problem for her sharp teeth. It's obviously to her taste, and she tucks in, giving Flint and Hickory an opportunity to feed unhindered. They often have to wait for bossy Pumpkin to have her fill before they get a chance. Both males select an easy option while they can, and delight in the juicy fruit. Spider monkeys are one of the largest of all New World primates. Their size means they can't move along the outer branches of trees safely. Instead, they use their tails as additional support to hang and reach for food. Their thumbs are vestigial, which means they've become functionless and disappeared over the course of evolution. It's not ideal for manipulation, which is why Flint finds it a struggle to retrieve a melon from a basket. But spider monkeys' hands are perfectly adapted for brachiating in the tree canopy when moving round and searching for food.
It's fair to say the spider monkeys have gone for the easy options. So any melons that were easy access, the ones that were sort of freestanding, the ones that weren't hung up in too difficult a place, they went for them first. There are more out there for them to discover throughout the afternoon. I don't know if they're going to be interested in their tea, especially if it's cabbage, but for today we'll let that slide.
The melons will stay in place for the rest of the day to encourage the spider monkeys to attempt to access the suspended fruit later. But for the moment, Pumpkin is determined to devour every last piece of the sweet honeydew. Next time on Monkey Life. Disabled chimp Chocolat has a new friend, and everyone's surprised by just who wants to be her pal.
We saw Chocolat and Rodders actually trying to embrace through the mesh, and it was just really nice.
And a wooden puzzle for the Woolies proves a great workout.